go. All right, and we are live. Sorry for the weird intro there. What is going on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube? All right, so we're streaming on all three platforms for those of you that don't know. And so we are, welcome back. Thank you, Nicholas. Just going to clean up a little bit here. A mess from yesterday's shipping and the day before shipping. I'm going to pull actually the Instagram and Facebook a bit closer just so I can read the comments a little bit better. They're a bit farther. And there we go. Okay, you guys are nice and good there. All right. What's going on, Candy? How's it going? Really need to get like a big screen TV like set up that has all the chats. Although I don't know how I'd quite get Instagram going because Instagram is a bit more difficult. But for those of you just joining us, how's it going, Floyd? We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm in Nashville. Well, welcome. Welcome to down south. There we go. Rotate that a little bit, but now we're good. What's going on, Orlando? Orlando. There we go. I always look at that and say Orlando. I gotta go. Be back in 5 minutes. All right, later. All right. So just so everybody knows, we're live on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So pick your choice of where you'd like to watch. And we're going to get into this. So I'm just going to let a couple more people join up, and then I'm going to let you guys know what the discount code is today. I'm going to give it to you early. It's a 25% off all BUCE philandrid on the site. So you could go and pick up some BUCE at 25% off. Pretty good deal. What's up, Parker? How's it going? And you're in Philadelphia. Nice, Robert. You're actually kind of close to me. I'm in New Jersey myself. So what we're going to be doing today, outside of the BUCE special, is the tank over here to the right-hand side of me. I lost a ton of plants in. It's basically started where some plant started melting tremendously, which I figured because I put a lot of stem plants in that tank. And stem plants, typically when I get from my nursery, they all melt like 90% of the bottom. So whatever I get that, you know, was grown above the water because they're grown immersed, I let transition here, and all the bottom parts melt, everything. Leaves, stem, gone. But what I was seeing is how long could it go without me having to play with it or touch it or trim it. And if any of you follow me on Instagram, you saw the plants just coming up and out of the surface of the water. Because I wasn't trimming them, I was just letting them go. So what happened is I had maybe about 150 stems total in there, and all of them started to rot, all the bottoms of the stems. The tips were left because those were growing underwater, so those got used to the environment, but all the bottoms rotted. And that caused anubis plants, banana plants, and other plants that I had growing all started to melt as well and rot. And so the other day, Margaret came home, and she's like, it smells like sewage in the house. She calls me up while I'm at work. She's like, it smells like sewage in the house. I'm like, please, not another issue with the house. And I'm like, all right, I'll check it when I get home. So I come home and I'm like looking to see if all the toilets are like properly working, and if all the sinks are properly working and everything else, making sure like nothing's backing up like anywhere in the house that I should be aware of. I'm like, where is this smell coming from? I checked the crawl space outside. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I come downstairs. I don't smell it downstairs. It was weird. Like, I didn't smell it when I came downstairs. So I go back up. I'm like, I have no idea where it's coming from. So I go out and I walk the dogs. And I come back down, and I get over to the tank, like, ready to, like, check some orders, and I just get a whiff of the rotting plants. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, well, one, it was a good thing because that's easily fixable. But I'm sorry for the squeaking. That's Honey. She's got her toy, and I guess that's better than her crying to me. So yeah, so we wind up, I wind up having to drain the tank like 3 times. I basically took out all the melting and rotting plant matter. let the tank fill and drain like 3 times. Get it, really clean, and let the filter run through a little bit, and then clean it out again. And yeah, so now it doesn't smell. That's a good thing. But I lost a bunch of plants. I lost a bunch of anubis because they started rotting. The banana plants. It's kind of like a cascade effect. Once one plant starts to rot and it starts to pollute the water, it kind of just keeps going, and yeah, it really messed up the tank. So. I got a ton of stem plants, which I'm going to go through in this tank, and I'm just going to kind of answer your questions and stuff, and I'm going to bunch them together because those are actually going to be ready to go out to you guys very soon, so you'll be able to order lots more stem plants. A lot of Ludwigia, some hygrophilias, and I have Bacopa coming on the way because I lost a lot of them when we moved, so that's a lot of my restock to try and get going. And then this weekend I'm going to pick up 12 40-gallon breeders and a 90-gallon tank. With a stand. I'm actually getting it for $100, which is an awesome deal. But that is, I'm not going to let you guys know what that is. So I'm going to go look at the questions on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram here, and let's see what everybody's asking or what's going on. So Kyle's Wild World, or let's see, Sergeant Tank. What's up, Justin? Hello, everyone. What's going on, Sergeant Tanks? How's it going? Kyle's Wild World says, what up, dude? Painting a stand right now, but I'm listening. That's all good. I actually will be having to paint all the racks once I start to build them, because I'm going to have, what, eight racks to build and 8 racks to paint. So that sucks. That is always the worst to deal with. Yeah, rotting plants sucks, but at least it wasn't a huge issue in the house like I thought it was. I'd much rather have to drain a tank than have to fix a pipe. Hey! Quit playing. Can I stream in peace? The two of you? She was all nice. See, like, this is what I don't get. Honey was nice, laying down playing with her toy. Walter has to come over and like start playing with her. But yeah, he's never down here. He's always upstairs. See, now here he goes. He's like, well, screw this. I'm going upstairs. Yeah, that's right. You know I'm talking about you. You know I'm talking about you. What? What? Ow, ow, ow. Your claws. Your claws. They hurts. The douche. So, yesterday or was it yesterday or this morning, he jumped up, and his claws, he doesn't let me trim his claws, or his nails. He doesn't let me trim them at all. Like, even when I take him to the vet or anybody, it takes 5 people to trim them. And I've tried everything. Like, he just does not like it. Like, I'm lucky I can even get him in the bathtub to take a bath, much less cut his nails. So, the other day, I'm, like, trying to get her collar on, or her harness to take them out. And, like, I'm, like, trying to, like, push him away so I could get her, and she's, like, all jumping. And then he jumps on me with his claws and just goes like this, but on the tender side of my back, so, like, think of where your kidneys are, and, like, just scrape down the side of my, and I'm like, oh my god, that was, like, the worst pain ever. Because it was, like, his claws are kind of sharp because he bites them, and they're rigid, so it was just no good. But anyway, let's get back on topic here. I figured out why I keep miss you live. Somehow the bell for notifications was turned off. Oh, that sucks. Well, turn it back on, easy. What's up, Fish Life? How's it going? Xavier, how's it going? Did you move into the new house? Yeah. The Fish Life. You've been really absent. We've been moved in for almost a month now. I'm happy Honey is well entertained tonight. Her squeaky toy is much more bearable noise than the puppy whining. Yes, that's for sure. But now she's probably going to start puppy whining because Walter came down to play with her and now went upstairs. So, anyone have any tips for keeping angels? I wish I did, but I got 2 angels from Petco and they died a week later. So, let's see. So, oh, I saw somebody asked about when Java Fern's going to be back in stock. So, actually, Friday I have a large order coming in from the nursery. So, why does she look like she's about to poop? Are you trying to go to the bathroom? If you're trying to go to the bathroom, let me know now. Yep. No. Come on. Guys, give me 1 second. She's literally about to poop on the floor. Let me run her outside real quick. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get maybe I could get Margaret. Let me get Margaret to come down here. Baby! Come on. 1 second. Margaret. Margaret. Can you go downstairs and entertain the stream for a second? Can you go and entertain the stream for a second? Alright, sorry about that. She really had to go. Thank God I caught that. Hey. Let's see. Welcome back. Thank you. Sorry about that. she had to go, so. Hey! No, go lay down. You go upstairs. Go. This isn't... Go. Go. I know you understand me. Go. Go. Yeah, that was a close call. His plants are great. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. What's up, Octo Nation? How's it going? Close up on the plants. Well, I'm going to start removing the stem plants now from this tank, and I'm going to start bunching them up because there's a lot of Ludwigia species mixed in. So I got to, basically yesterday when I was cleaning out all the rotting plants out of that tank, I just was plucking the tops. I wasn't keeping track of what was what. So I'm going to be putting the plants into bundles. Let's see. Hey, can you possibly get some Blixa japonica? I actually have some Blixa, it's just not ready yet. Walter, go upstairs. Leave her alone. She's fine. Go upstairs. Go. You go. You go. Go lay on the couch or something. Go. Go. Up the stairs. He acted like I couldn't hear him stop walking. So I have some Blixa growing. It's taking a while for it to get ready for me to propagate and sell off. But when we moved, I lost a lot of the stem plants, or a majority of the stock that I had as far as those stem plants go, because Blixa, from the nursery that I deal with right now, doesn't grow Blixa. So I literally had to get that from a hobbyist and grow it out myself. So I had a bunch of them, and then I lost several of them. So I have a few left. They're growing, and pretty soon I'll be dividing them up into portions to sell. It takes a while, and you know we've only been set back up for less than a month, because I started selling plants again on March 29th, and it's what, April 27th or something like that. So literally still under 30 days, and I've only been running out of 2 tanks because the other 2 tanks I have major algae problems going on. So do you have Ovalis? I actually got Ovalis Ludwigia in stock were in to grow from the nursery. That was one of the plants that started rot. I'm going to start taking those out now. They're not quite ready yet because I only got maybe about 5 inches of growth. I have to wait till I have at least 10 inches so I can give you the top 5 inches. And there you go. Hey, H2O DET Aquarium here. Welcome, Daryl. How's it going? Let's see. How's the Linophilia aromatica and high-growth blue coming along? So Linophilia aromatica lost completely. I lost the mini or the dwarf. I think it's either the mini or the dwarf. I lost one of those, and I lost the Linophilia, which I'll get again. I'm waiting for these tanks to balance out before I throw any more plants in there, and then I'll wind up searching the Facebook groups and forums for anybody selling a large amount of stem plants. Also, keep in mind this weekend I'm getting the 12 additional tanks that I need. So pretty much after this weekend, I'm going to start constructing the double racks, getting them ready, because first thing I'm doing is I'm setting up 4 racks. I'm going to take these tanks off of here, off these. I'm going to set up 4 tanks with the bottom tank, and then that way at least I have double the capacity. And then while everything else, because I still have to fix the heating system in the house, so I don't want to set up the other racks just yet. But I'm going to start building them, getting them ready, and as soon as the heating system is fixed, which is going to be coming up here soon within the next couple weeks, I'm getting quotes on them to change out our whole heating system into an HVAC system with forced hot air rather than a steam system, just because the steam system is going to cost about 11 grand within the next 2 years, because I'm going to probably have to fix the or either replace or fix the furnace at some point within the next year or 2, and all the pipes need to be reworked, and that's about 5 grand. And then your furnace is like 6, so to put on a heating element to the HVAC system that we're going to have installed anyway is like 5 grand, so it just doesn't make sense to wait on the steam system. Might as well just get it all incorporated into one. So, but I can't set up the racks on the other side. That's going to basically be right in front of me where you guys are now. The racks will be right here, and I can't set those up because they're going to need to be able to run the vents and all that. So right now these are kind of out of the way. Worst case scenario, I drain these half down and I can move them around. I'm going to put actually on the bottoms of them are the slippy things, so you can move them if you need to. So yeah. Let's see what's going on. Racing, how's it going? You also want Linophilia heritophylla. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look at that. Let's see. What's going on, V-Stag? What's going on, Bookshelf Aquatics? How's it going? So the new tanks, like I said, the new racks are going to be going right in here, and then these racks will be going behind me. The filters are going to be going underneath, and it's just going to be 4 additional 40-gallon breeders. And then on the other side of this, the 55, if I get the 90-gallon, the 55 is going to go somewhere else temporarily, and the 90-gallon is probably going to go where the 55 is. And or I'll save the 90-gallon for when I knock down the other wall on the other side of this column, which is another project I have to do all in itself. Do you have any dwarf hairgrass and Java moss? So dwarf hairgrass all died on me. I have to get it again. And I will be getting, I actually have Java moss. I'm just waiting for it to grow out. I actually just sold a portion, but I probably don't really have much left. Pretty soon, though, I will have a tank devoted to just growing floating plants. Well, tanks, plural, because most of the bottom tanks are mainly going to be for growing out moss and growing out floating plants. And then probably 4 of them will be for that, and the additional 4 bottom tanks will be other grow out / holding tanks. Later, Fish Life. What's up, Shishimi? Shishimi in the house. Heard you got a new editor, Justin. Way to go. I've had a new editor. Well, I've had an editor. No floating plants or water lilies in stock. So I'm actually getting tiger lotus and dwarf water lilies back in stock on Friday. So anybody that was looking for tiger lotuses, I know a lot of people were looking for those because they're popular, so I'll have those again. Floating plants will also be back in stock either later on tonight or Friday. I'm going to kind of do an inventory after the live stream probably and see what I have, because technically on my website most of this tank is sold, but it's not. Like it says it's out of stock, but I have tons of plants still left in here. So I really have to go through here, count up what I have, separate, any dying plants, get rid of those, and count them up and figure out what I got for you guys. So, ridiculous fish adventures. Hola, damas y caballeros. I guess that means hello, ladies and gentlemen. Is that what it is? And I probably butchered that. I got my first plant order and root tabs from Justin. Nice stuff. Can't wait till I have a few more dollars to get more stuff. Oh, nice racing. Appreciate it. Let's see. What's up, Nathan? Are you having any luck with the Savinia culata that you had? I managed to get some and it gets new growth, but old leaves turning brown and rot. So, yes, the Savinia culata is just growing wild for me. It's probably the fastest growing floating plant that I have outside of frogbit, which I actually have a ton of. I have to throw up on the site. It's pretty much covering the 55, which I'm taking all of the floating plants out of the 55 because they're just blocking the light to everything underneath it. But I have to, because there's duckweed incorporated, and I actually managed to take all the floating plants and one by one I separated them, so I got all the duckweed off of the floating plants that I had, so that way now they're all isolated, and the duckweed is actually in the same bin as all the floating plants, but it's within a net, so all the duckweed babies and all the regular duckweed plants stay in that net, so those don't get in contact with everything else, but now they're isolated, so I can grow them and be able to keep everything separate. Are you using a dehumidifier? Not yet. The humidity isn't bad here. I haven't noticed any moisture on the windows or anything like that. So I think we're good as far as the humidity with the 5 tanks as is. But I'm pretty sure once I add in the additional 12 40 gallons plus the 90 gallon, it's going to be time to get some equipment in here. I'm hoping the HVAC system, I don't know if they make it, but maybe I could find a dehumidifier add-on that I can attach to maybe the vent that will be in the, the vent and the return that will be in the basement, and I can somehow use that to dehumidify the room without having to spend for an extra unit. I don't know if they make that. I haven't looked into it, but that just kind of came to mind when you mentioned dehumidifier, and since I'm looking at HVAC systems, might be something that I should look at. I asked about red crinkle plant before, and turns out it's sold in pet stores and Walmart and fish tanks, but it's not submerged plant. Bummer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the case. It's not an actual aquatic plant, but that's typical. That's a lot of, and that's what kind of sucks is a lot of the big box stores and all that sell plants that aren't truly aquatic, and newbies that get into the hobby they buy the plant, they put it in their tank, and weeks later it dies. So it kind of sucks. But yeah. How often should I be root tabbing my stem plants? You should be putting a root tab probably every 3 to 6 months, depending on your plant load. More plants, more root tabs. Less plants, less root tabs. Also space them out 5 inches apart and do not put them directly under the plants. So somebody says stems you need to dose the water column root feeders about every 3 months. So yes and no. So most stem plants typically absorb nutrients from the water column and not the substrate. But just saying, how often should I dose my stem plants or put root tabs for my stem plants? Some stem plants, like hygrophilias, have tons of root systems that branch out in the substrate. Same thing with Ludwigias. There are several that don't really grow roots in the substrate. So it really depends on the type of stem plants. But still, adding in the nutrients to the substrate will still eventually work its way into the water column in some way, shape, or form. So yeah. Let's see. I believe my BUCE melts and dies due to a 300 plus 600 plus TDS level. Jesus. Damn, I'm doing tabs monthly. No, you shouldn't be doing tabs monthly. You're probably overdosing your tank. You probably have a lot of algae, if I had to guess. Chinese, they keep forcing Spanish on me when I'm trying to learn English. It's confused the hell out of me since I was 10 years old. Jesus. My tank is all carpet and plants, so hard to keep root tabs away from the plants. All right, yeah. Well, when it's heavily planted, yes. But a lot of people say they have 5 plants and they stick the root tab right underneath. that's a problem. But if you have a lot of plants that are, you know, in a compacted area, then that's okay. I mean, obviously, if they're all growing right next to each other, there's not much you can do. There was a question I want to go back to, but I can't reach it from where I'm at. So let's see. What did it say here? Sorry, I keep repeating my question, but CO2 and lighting aside, how important is the substrate? Is one type, sand, gravel, etc., better than the others? That's an important question, so I wanted to answer it. So, yes, substrate is important, and no, substrate is not important. It really depends on the type of plant you have. So if you have plants that root into the substrate, like swords, carpeting plants, stem plants, yes, you need it. If you have plants like Anubis, Java fir, and moss, you don't need it. So it really depends on the type of plants you're growing. It also depends on if they're more of a high-tech environment plant. Yes, you need a good substrate. If they're low-tech type of plant, similar to like regular Amazon swords that are super hardy, those can grow in gravel and sand as long as you're supplementing root tabs and nutrients. But I always recommend get a good substrate. The two areas that you want to put money in when you're doing a planted tank is a good light above all else. Get a good light. And then secondly, get a substrate that has nutrients and get a fertilizer that helps the plants grow as well. If you don't have fertilizer, if you haven't seen my video on YouTube about fertilizing plants, think of it as building blocks. In order for the plant to grow, it needs building blocks, and if there's no building blocks in the water, it can't grow efficiently. I actually have not dosed these plants, any of these tanks, in a month now, or over a month, pretty much, since we moved. So they're definitely nutrient deprived, and I can see that just clearly from the growth. Things are not growing nearly as fast as they were. So actually today I'm planning on actually dosing it, which actually reminds me I got to do that right now, because I've been slacking on it. But my thing is I wanted to wait to see if I could clear up this algae without introducing nutrients, or see if it was a nutrient problem. So I started the tank of nutrients. Algae still hasn't disappeared, so I know that it's not the nutrient problem. It's either a lighting or a CO2 problem, which the CO2 problem pretty much I think I have fixed, because I went back to my old regulator and things are now running at a decent speed where before they weren't. Sir, can you show me your filtration system? I don't really have a system. It's just a Sensun 304B. Pretty easy to set up. Great filters, but in the new setup when I do the double racks, I'm going filterless. The top and bottom tank will essentially be their filters, and that's going to be through substrate, a overflow that's going to go down, and there will be a way of filtering the water through that. I'm actually thinking of possibly putting a some sort of PVC pipe filled or something, some sort of container through the overflow that has filter media in it, so when the water drains through, it automatically hits the filter media, drains through to the bottom tank, gets circulated around, and continues that system. Kind of like a drip sump system, like where they drip water through. Thinking about doing something like that. I don't know if it would be practical. I gotta see how much space I have. I still haven't exactly laid out the design of the racks yet. I gotta factor in overflows. I gotta factor in the waistline for the automatic water changes that will eventually go in. They're not gonna go in at first. I gotta, really figure out how I'm gonna lay everything out. So it's a whole process. But yeah, that's how the tanks are gonna be filtered in the future. Do you know Joey? I've joined his live streams a couple times. We haven't really personally chatted, but I know, if I wanted to hit him up, I'm sure I could. How's the algae situation coming along? I think I got it under control. Most of the algae in here is starting to turn gray. Still lots of blackbeard algae, which I'm not worried about. That I could get rid of. It's more of everything else that just, no matter what I did, kept coming back. But it's all starting to turn gray. I'm actually dosing AlgaFix, not sponsored. I want to give it a try. I don't recommend. I never recommend using a chemical to fix an algae problem, or any problem for that matter. I believe in trying to figure out what is going on with the tank and adjusting the properties of the tank. But in this case, the algae was outcompeting how fast I could remove it, and I was working on balancing it. I knew what, essentially I eliminated, it couldn't be nutrients because I stopped dosing nutrients, so there was no nutrient problem there. I also wasn't doing water changes, so I knew my water, whatever was left in this tank was gone. And I know that these tanks don't have any algae problems either. But the CO2 for these two tanks was off the charts because the regulator was working fine for the first 3 tanks, but by the time it got all the way to the end of the line on these last 2 tanks, the CO2 was just pouring out. So it has to definitely be fluctuations in CO2, which I addressed by switching out the regulator. But in the meantime, I'm dosing the algae fix, and that's just in hopes to kill the existing algae so it stops spreading. So, now that it's gray, I can essentially go in here and remove a lot of it, and it should pretty much be eliminated at this point now that the CO2 is balanced out. It's on a slow 1 bubble a second, or maybe 2 bubbles a second, which was fine. But before, it was literally at like 30 bubbles a second because it was just overflowing. Why are people giving me the angry face? People giving me the angry face on Facebook. Let's see. Plants. Let's see. Marissa, how do you recommend acclimating tissue culture plants so they don't melt after being submerged? See, that's tricky because I've had very little success with tissue culture plants, and it could also just be where I get them from. They're not the most high quality ones, but I only had success with one, and even that, most of it melted. I was left with a little portion of it. Really, it's just kind of one of those, you got to put it in your tank and hope for the best. There's really no way of acclimating a plant. Craig says, love what you do. Thanks for all the help. You're welcome. Is it normal for a platy that is about to give birth look like it has droopsy? I don't think so. I've never had platy, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But I don't think so. Let's see. Do you have a taco hat? No, I don't have a taco hat. Did you set up the reactors? Not yet. I'm not setting up the reactors until I get the new stands built. Because there's no point in me taking apart the filter, installing the reactor on there, and then actually eliminating these filters entirely. Because as soon as the racks get built, I'm putting in the submersible pumps, getting rid of the suns, and I'm doing the overflows. So pretty much I'm building the rack system. When I get the 12 tanks, I'm going to set up one rack system with 2 empty 40-gallon breeders. Make sure everything's working, and then once I fine-tune that system and figure out, okay, this is where the 2 overflows are going, this is how this is going to work. Once I get all that going, that's going to get put in, this tank's going to be taken out, everything's going to be transferred to the new tanks, and then the bottom tank is going to be filled with whatever it's going to get filled with. So that's how we're doing that. What up, Ben Beta? How's it going? Have you ever tried running a sump for a planted system? Not yet, but the new double rack system is essentially going to be a sump in its own way, but it's going to be more of a, I guess, a refugium. Is that what it's called? Where you have plants growing out of it? And that's essentially what it's going to be. If I don't put in a inline filter of some sort, that's going to be in the overflow, which I think I could probably come up with something to work, but it's the matter of how would you fix it, or how would you clean it from that. So it would have to be something that basically has like a coarse sponge, a finer sponge, and then media. But then as it got to the bottom, there's also going to be a micron sock that's going to take out any small particles. So I really have to look into how I'm going to do it. And the trick is I can't have the overflows clog, because if they clog, then that's a problem. Spilt cherry Dr. Pepper on myself. Let's see. H2O plants, what do you think of sea chem fluoride black sand? I bought some, but everyone says it's horrible. I'm setting up a planted tank. I personally haven't used it, but I do use sea chem fluoride. It works great. So I can't imagine it being that bad. How long have you been a hobbyist? 3 years now. Hey Justin, I got my plant ordered. They're all quite happy, but are starting to bud out some new green. What? Got my plant order. They aren't all quite happy, but are starting to bud out some new green. All right, well let me know, Donna, if anything came in rough, like any brown or anything, or if there's no green at all, let me know right away. That's one thing. If you guys ever get plants, because sometimes shipping, you never know. I usually double check all the areas where they're going to make sure temperatures are fine. If they need heat packs or insulation, I make sure I do. I take the proper precautions. But you never know; they could have got blasted with some coldness or extra hot, depending on where you are. Also, they could have just not been well right off the get-go. So if anything came in bad, send me pictures. Let me know. I'll take a look at it. If it's something that I think is not going to make it, I'll definitely send you out some new ones. But if you see some green coming up, most likely they're going to survive. So I wouldn't be too worried. But if completely brown or yellow or anything like that, most likely they're not going to make it. So let me know. Hey man, are all your products sold submerged? I hate getting immersed. So Adam, all the stem plants are sold as submerged stems. Those are all grown in the tanks and trimmed, and that's what's sold. Moss, same thing. It's grown in the tanks. That's sold. All the regular sorts of Anubis outside of the rare stuff like Pinto and SP Golden, those are sold partially submerged. So I get them from my nursery. I allow them to sit in my tank for at least a week to get adjusted. And usually they're good. I've never really noticed any melting. I've actually experimented myself, and I kept a few just on my own to see how they did 3 months out from being introduced to a tank, and they were fine. Of course, they did lose their older leaves at some point, but they sprouted newer leaves and were just fine in time. Crypts, jungle bells, all that get somewhat converted, some new growth, some older growth is still left on there, but of course that just falls off in time. But I won't ever send anything that looks, like it's going to die. And then Aponjatons, all that is grown immersed as well, but those are pretty hardy. So I only really sell the hardy plants that I know will make it, that come immersed. But you're not going to find, if I was to sell a Nubis that's completely 100% converted outside of Pinto and SP Green, from the $5 price point that I have now, they would probably be triple or quadruple that price. So you'd pay $20 for a 3-leaf piece of Anubis, which it doesn't make sense. Where you put it in your tank, Anubis is pretty hardy. So it's mainly the stem plants. Those are the most sensitive plants that it comes to transitioning, I find. Let's see. Late to the party, how do you use a fuge? Refugiums, Steven, is that what you meant? Donna says, no, it was all good when it came in. I think it's just an adjustment phase. There is new growth already. I will send you some pictures. I want to make sure I don't have too much wood in the tank. Odds are you probably are fine with the wood. You can't really have an overdose of wood. Wood actually will help your water, if anything, because it adds tannins and all that. So you're probably fine with that. It's probably just going through the adjusting phase. No matter what I do as far as growing the plants, even when I give them to you, they're going to adjust to your tank conditions because my pH, my TDS, all my minerals, everything in my water is way different than your water. And same thing with CO2 dissolution and all that. So there's a mosquito in here, nice. And so it's gonna transition. It's gonna lose its leaves eventually, and new growth will pop up. The trick is just trim away any browning growth as new growth comes up to prevent your water from getting over saturated with ammonia or anything like that. And it also keeps the plant healthy. The more you trim off dead leaves as new leaves are popping up, the better the plant is because it's funny because we started gardening the front this past week. We laid out all new plant bushes like azaleas and wisteria plants. I don't know if anybody's a gardener here, but a bunch of flowering plants, roses and all that. And I was reading up on them, how to take care of them, and it's the same thing. As plants transition, they may lose some of their leaves, or in the fall cut back any falling flowers or anything like that. So and that keeps the plant devoting energy to producing new growth rather than trying to fix old growth. So would you mix normal organic potting soil with fluorite? I'm sure you can, as long as it's organic, although I personally wouldn't. I think one substrate that is nutrient rich or porous where it can absorb nutrients is good. I wouldn't mix two different kinds. If anything, I would just top the dirt with something. Fluorite I would leave how it is, but yeah. Let's see. What did he get in this week? You'll have to wait to see. What's up, Kang? How's it going? I really have to stop watching so much YouTube. You and me both. They are all in a 10-gallon tank, and there's only one betta fish. Oh, that's nice. For some mosquito spray. Thank you for Sashimi Whiskey for the $2 #off. I got this little bug zapper thing. It's actually one of those ultraviolet lights, but instead of like zapping the bugs, it has a fan underneath that creates a downward suction. So as the bugs go towards the UV light, they get sucked down and they can't escape. And that's just been running over there, but I think I need a refill. There's like a liquid ring that goes around it to help attract the bugs, and I have to refill that. I haven't refilled it since I got it, so. Anyone catch the DIY king bashing on Monster Fish Keepers? No, there was a bashing? Why? Good morning to you, and good evening over here. Hey, oh, Steamfot in the house. What up, Steamfot? How's it going? What's up, Bob? Bob, actually, I'll let everybody here know. I reached out to Rob from Flip Aquatics and Corey from Aquarium Co-op. I kind of just threw out the idea here, and maybe Bob would possibly be interested as well if Corey or Rob isn't interested. I want to do a podcast on Sunday nights involving at least 3 of us, and then every week have a guest. And I think it would be cool. I reached out to Corey and Rob because I've talked to the most probably on YouTube. But if they choose that they're either too busy or it just doesn't work for their schedule or whatever the case is, I'd possibly be interested in doing that with Steamfod or even Sashimi Whiskey maybe. Just getting some fish keepers that have YouTube channels in and doing like a guest, and that way because I'm not as experienced in fish myself. Like I know some things about fish, but I'm more well versed in plants. But like Corey knows way more about fish than I know, and probably will ever know. He has years on me, and Rob from Flip Aquatics, he's got way more experience on shrimp than I do. So I thought it would be cool if the 3 of us collabed on a podcast, because like I could be the guy that answers the plant questions, Rob could answer the shrimp questions, Corey can answer the fish questions, and we all run businesses around the aquarium hobby. So I think that would also, we could also use our knowledge from that and really like answer questions and help people and all that, because sometimes I get questions I don't know how to answer them if they're particularly about a fish. But I think a podcast would be awesome, and I'd love to do it with some people. We'll see though. Let's see. What's up, Eric? Sup, this is new for me, but hours at work switched, so now I can join Wednesdays and Sundays. Nice, Eric. Welcome. Yes, podcast, Fish Nerd. Hey, Nissy, how's it going? Let's see. Sounds like an amazing idea, man. Yeah. Bob answers brisket questions. Might be tough to get Corey away from his Sunday night live stream. Well, that was my thing, is because in my head, like, it just kind of dawned on me, because Rob streams, I think, 5:30 or 6:30. I stream at 7, and Corey streams at 9 Eastern time, or whatever it is. And if we're all streaming on Sunday, why don't we just try and align our schedules a little bit better, and just, instead of doing 3 individual live streams, we combine it all into one, and maybe like have its own YouTube channel and or its own Twitch channel or something like that, and do it through like Google Hangouts, and then like every week bring on a guest. So like Bob could come, and like maybe Rachel Leary at some point, or somebody, people in the hobby, or Brett, and get people each week, and there'll kind of be a theme to the show. And it was just like something that came to mind. I'm like, this would be a really cool idea if we could work out the scheduling of it. But I don't know if Corey and Rob would be interested in kind of dropping their live stream in that sense, where, it would be a joint live stream. I don't know. It'd be... I'd be interested to do it once and see how it worked and see if we all liked it. Let's see. You told everyone you won't see him there, but they will see some real choice words. What are you talking about? What are you doing? Lay down. Lay down, honey. I would definitely tune in to that stream. Let's see. What's a podcast? But it would be like a video podcast, so it wouldn't be like just an audio thing. It would be all, it would be like a live stream like this, except with 3 people versus just single people, What is a good price for 88 aqua soil? I want to buy some. I personally wouldn't even waste the money unless you have a small tank. What is Honey trying to do? Is she trying to pee? Honey, what are you trying to do? You just went outside. You peed and you went potty. Or number 2. What? What is it? Why are you looking like you gotta pee or something? What's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me. Speak to me, doggy. Speak to me. I kind of agree, though. If you don't have the money to build something, don't ask your followers to donate that much money. I don't think what Joey did was wrong. I don't understand why he didn't do it sooner, honestly. This is my whole thing, is he creates content for the viewers. Well, yes, he gets paid, obviously, for his views and all that. He does also do a lot of informational stuff, which has helped the hobby. It's actually, several of his videos have helped me. Like, I've watched a whole backlog of a lot of his older stuff, and it helped me figure out, water polishers and filters and other things, along with a lot of other YouTubers. So, I think if somebody has $5-10 that they want to give them to help them make an even bigger facility to be able to expand that knowledge base and education for the fish hobby, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Personally, if it was me, I probably would have done it sooner if I didn't have the money. If I had the money, it's one thing if you have the money. If he had $500,000 sitting in the bank and could easily afford it, then I wouldn't ask people. But if you had an idea and you don't have the financial backing and you've already exhausted credit cards, loans, private investors, it's crowdsourcing. That's the day and age we live in. So I don't think there's any issue with it. It's not like he's forcing people to donate. It's not like he said he's not putting out videos if people don't donate. He didn't do any of that. He didn't give people an ultimatum. He said, if you want to donate, you can. So I think that's fine. Yeah, Tyler says he had the money due to a few things needing to be completely redone and revamped. It went out of his budget that he took out in credit cards. Yeah, so that probably poor. The only thing I can say is poor planning on his part. I know from this point, if you ever think, let's just say you want to do a project and it's $1,000, figure at least $2,000 because, I work in an estimating department trying to figure out a job, electrical jobs. Anyway, this is what I do for a career outside of this, and I just know when you have a job, even if you think you could get it done for $1,000, assume you're gonna need double. If I went to open up a warehouse for all of this right now, let's just say I needed $50,000, I would literally try and raise $100,000. I would raise double because you can't go wrong with raising double. Worst case scenario, you just pay the money back. Best case scenario, you have extra money. So, or that you only use what you budgeted for. But a project like that, I can understand, you could definitely be over budget really quick. Do you think you'll ever do plant bundles or something similar? Yes. Actually, that is on my very tip top of the list to do as soon as we have the additional 12 tanks set up. The reason being is as soon as I get inventory in out of these, it's basically sold. And for me putting together plant packages, I want to be able to have each item in stock a little bit, like a little extra. That way I could do plant packages. But as it is now, I throw them up, they sell out. So it makes no sense for me to do plant packages while people can pick and choose what they want. But once I have the additional 12 tanks, I think I'll have extra stock where it could be, okay, $50 plant order, free shipping, or plant package, free shipping, click, add to cart, and I throw in, you know, whatever we have kind of thing. What did I miss? What's with all the Joey stuff? Just people discussing about Joey's thing there. I work doing anything, but I think everyone should give me more because something well. It was bad. There was one guy offering to pay him $1,000 to take down videos. Jesus. Joey has been savage before. He called people out saying he started other people's YouTube channels like Corey and Mike. I don't know all that. That ad boycott screwed him too. Yeah. My literally, like, the ad revenue, and I'm not even a big channel, but my ad revenue for like the last 3 months was like $50. Like in the thing was like $50, which I mean I pay my editor more than that per week to edit videos. So like I made $50 in 3 months off YouTube views, which was nothing. But then that dropped down to $12. I just recently saw when I logged in today. I'm like, oh well, that's great. Like that does nothing. This is more of the YouTube is free for me. Like I don't care if I make any money off views or whatnot. That's not what it's about. I'm selling products, so I make up my time in people buying product. That's just the way it goes, and I get to help people out, so it's a win-win. You know, I help people. They might in turn buy some products, or at least just watch and share the stream and like the stream. And if you haven't shared or liked the stream, do so now. Would appreciate it. Thank you. But I don't rely on the views, and yeah. Let's see. Telling him the pin method works, not capillary. I think he is responsible for people's tanks leaking. Yeah, I don't know. Could you grow more plants using misting racks like Darnell do rather than tanks? See, my one thing that comes to mind with that is that the tanks won't be fully adjusted to an aquatic environment. So while yes, I could grow more probably that way and faster with less issues for, like, you know, obviously with the tank you can get algae and pests and all that. I would think it would be the same result of what I had going on in this tank when I got them in from my nursery. While they weren't completely submerged grown, they were immersed grown, throw them in the tank, they start to melt. So if I sold plants like that were just getting misted, people put them in their tanks, they melt completely back, and then I get a bad rep for people getting plants that melt. So Victor says, why my Alternia lose red color? Probably not enough nutrients, most likely. YouTube paying less and less for ads these days. Yeah, if you're a YouTuber, if any of you guys are watching this that are YouTubers and whatnot, and you think that you're going to make a living off ad revenue, think again. You gotta develop a better business model of that if you're trying to make it a career. Like I said, YouTube to me is just free advertising in a way. It allows me to interact with people that support me and answer questions, and also throw out like discount codes. As a matter of fact, now is a good time. 25% off BUCE if you want to order some. This video is sponsored by H2O Plants. You could head over to h2oplants.com and buy some bucephalandrid for 25% off using the coupon code BUCE25. There you go. There's like a sponsored video, except I'm sponsoring myself. So head on over to the website, order some BUCE, 25% off. I need to get it out of here because I have a ton left. And go buy it. That's it. If you need some BUCE, 25% off. Or, and there's no, I'm going to set the cutoff on this code for Sunday. So it'll be good till Sunday. And then I'll take the code, I'll disable the code. But, so Friday, all the rest of the inventory will be updated, so you could order additional items too if you want, or you could just order BUCE now because some of the BUCE may sell out that you want because it's what you see is what you get. So there you go. Let's see. People think YouTubers make way more than they actually do just because they see the channels with 10 million subs getting paid. Yeah, well that's a lot different because people then get paid essentially like take Taylor Nicole Dean, right? She has, I think, 300,000 subscribers, or almost 400,000 probably. I don't really keep tabs on her. I just occasionally see her channel tracking. And when a company goes to her, if she's not getting the amount that she should be getting for an advertisement, typically it's 10 cents per view. So if you think about it, I don't have my calculator in front of me, but whatever it is, if her videos get, let's just say 100,000 views, times that by 10 cents, I think it's like $10,000. She should be getting paid 10 grand for a video that's getting 100,000 views that's sponsored. So there you go. Think about it. You do 4 videos that are sponsored a month with that huge of an audience. You make money that way. Ad revenue on YouTube, nothing. Nothing like it is. But it should always be roughly about 10 cents a view. If she's not getting 10 cents a view, she's doing it wrong. Because that's what premium should be. I did get one that had a few yellow leaves, but I pulled it off and it's doing well, so no worries here. Good. Drama follows when large amount of money is involved. That's true. Yeah, I wonder if there is even a correlation, oh my god, I can't speak, between the ad and that is playing on. Do you people really associate ads with the video? I don't even watch the regular ads. I like how people pay now to be integrated into the video, which is nice. I'm developing retail systems for Darnell, so I'll ask them about your feedback. Oh, that's nice. Oh, Instagram feed just went down. Let me put that back up. I didn't even realize we reached an hour. I didn't even do what I was supposed to do with all the stem plants, so I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow probably. We're too into talking about drama. Let's see. Where did he show his income, Jake? He actually showed his income. It's not. I mean, it's enough to probably support him, but it's not like you don't make fucking, or excuse my language. Cut that out. You don't make that much. I do think Joey has a bit of an ego. Maybe, but rightfully so. He does have, I guess, the biggest aquarium channel outside Taylor Nicole Dean. Hey everyone, what's up, Angelo? Joseph says, "Boost sale. Let me go check out my ramen noodle supply." Yes. What's up, Timmy? How's it going? Are we sure it isn't Google screwing content creators? It's just what it is. At the end of the day, if any of you don't watch Philip DeFranco, you should watch him. But he says it perfectly in his videos. If you're relying on YouTube to provide you money to continue doing what you're trying to do full time, you're sadly mistaken, because you're relying on somebody else paying you rather than creating a business model that pays yourself. If I would have started a YouTube channel and like just been cranking out videos and not selling a product, why would I be doing it? Like, well, yeah, it's helping people, but I'm not going to be making any money because, one, the aquarium hobby is still so small. It's not going to ever be a viral video. I'll be lucky if I make the money back on the time I spent on it, much less hiring an editor to edit it. And videos take a ton of time to edit. That's why I hired somebody to do it, because I would sit there, and when I first started the channel, editing just a 5-minute video took 3 hours, you know, to properly edit it. And like, that was either on my computer or on my phone. I actually bought an app to be able to do it from my phone, but then it was just like, it's way too ridiculous. So, had I done that, I probably would have never really started. But because I started a business first, and I said, you know what, I want to promote the business and also help people, because I feel like there's a lot of aquarium channels out there now. I don't know, I don't think a lot of them focus on plants. There's really only 2 that I can think of, and one doesn't really provide the greatest advice. The other one is decent, but I think that there's a lot of missed information that I've learned by doing a lot of research and experience with the plants. And I kind of like think of myself as a botanist. Like, I love everything. I'm trying to grow grass right now outside, and I got super excited because it finally germinated. And I finally see little grass leaves coming up in bare spots. I'm like, yes, success. So I'm gonna start selling my grass on the internet next. No, but yeah, no, that's what YouTube is for me. But you know, yeah. Let's move on from this and let it not distract us from the awesome that is plants and fish. Let go. Yeah, I agree. Let's move on. I know who he is talking about. Bob, you don't know who I'm talking about. Maybe you do. I don't know. We'll see. Have you seen aquasoil melting carpet plants? I personally never used aquasoil, so I don't know. I've never heard of that, but we'll see. Water the grass in the morning and for about 35 minutes in the afternoon. Just be careful with sun so you don't burn the grass. Yeah, well, the most of the grass is growing fine in the backyard. It's just a mechanic owned the house previously, and he must have parked a car in like right where the driveway meets the grass, on the grass. So there's like a big bare spot on both sides of my yard, because there's like a little path that runs through the middle. Maybe I'll do a video on it. But there was a path that runs through the middle, and a big bare spot on the left, big bare spot on the right. So he must have like parked cars there. When I was actually doing maintenance, because I was on the yard, I was like pulling up stuff. I was using like a rake to pull up stuff. I was pulling up brake pads and car parts in the yard, like in the dirt, like just to be able to put down new seat, because I want to make sure I got everything out of it. Like, I saw pieces of metal, so I'm just like raking it, and I'm pulling up all these pieces of metal, brake pads and all this stuff. So I got all that out. But I planted grass seed on Easter. Actually, Easter weekend is when I mowed the lawn. After I mowed it, well, first I dethatched it. It's like pulling up all the dead grass, all the dead leaves and all that, pulling that up so soil's exposed, so the seed could actually get down there, and water could actually penetrate, and also fertilizer that I put on the lawn. So I did all that, planted the seed, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this is not gonna, I'm failing at this. Like, it's already been a week, it should have sprouted by now, or at least from what I read, it should normally take about 7 days. And sure enough, I think today is the 12th day of it being planted. And I have new grass. I have like seedlings coming up. Like, I could see little things. I was so proud of it. I'm like, yes, I have grass. It's coming. It's still spotty. I still have to fill it in, but it's coming out. And I spent like probably $150 on sprinklers to like just make sure I got stuff like set up with timers and all that. Probably a huge waste of money. I could have probably invested in an irrigation system with all that money, but at the time I'm like, I need to water this, and I can't get out here at 5 a.m. to water, because I enjoy my sleep until 6 a.m. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Good, you bought a nice mower. Well, I actually, so I bought a Ryobi battery powered mower. I'm not a big fan of like mixing gas and oil, just never was. Can't be bothered. I don't want to keep gas on hand. Shit stinks. I just don't want to be bothered. Plus, it's a mess. So like, I hate that. And I'm all for green energy. Not to say that using electric is any greener, especially from, depending on where it comes from. But it's a lot better than having to mix gasoline and do engine maintenance. Less stuff for me to have to worry about. So I got the battery powered one, which works great for me. It's a small yard. I don't need anything super powerful. It's fine. And then I got the cordless, the battery operated string trimmer that also has an edger attachment and a leaf blower attachment. And honestly, they're underrated. The thing was like powerful. Like it was blowing leaves. It was edging my grass. Like it was great. So then my grass looks nice. How many gallons you got in the new house? Right now I got 4 40 gallons and a 55 gallon, same as previously, but we're going to get 12 new tanks this weekend. So actually 13 if you count the 90 gallon. Come on, dude, you're a boss. Let your underlings do the manual labor. I actually enjoy doing the lawn. Like I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe I won't like it in a year when it's like growing out of control and there's like, you know, because as it is, I cut it Easter weekend. I should have cut it this past weekend, but I didn't want to because I was laying down some weed killer just to get rid of the overwhelming amount of dandelions in the yard. So I was spot treating things and I didn't want to cut it. Or you're not supposed to cut it 2 days before or 2 days after you do it. And then I just haven't been able to get out there. So I have to cut it this weekend, but stuff is like 7 inches long already. Like it's growing. I laid down all natural fertilizer on it and it's growing great. So I'm writing something interesting on Reddit about Joey, etc. Not even going to touch on the Joey thing anymore. Get to it, Jake. Protus says, hey Justin, what nutrients would you look for in soil? So are you talking about for aquariums or for grass? Because we were just talking about grass, and I want to make sure that I'm not, you know, making sure that we're touching on what we are touching on. I just found a real mower in the garage. Works good. That's cool. Dang, dude, I planted trees on Easter and bought an electric mower too. Nice. What's up, John? How's it going? The electric mower is not bad. I like it. It's nice. I can't complain. I mean, granted, if I had a huge yard, like I maybe have less than 1/4 of an acre of grass, so it's nothing crazy. But if I had like a full acre of property, forget about it. I wouldn't even think of it. But yeah. Congrats on the lawn. I'm into my lawn big time. Yeah, I'm like, I'm telling Margaret, I'm like, you're not allowed to walk on the lawn. Don't touch it. Stay off of it. Like, like the dogs ain't even allowed on it right now. Like, because them rolling around, I'm starting to see like a yellowing spot. I'm like, you guys aren't allowed on the yard either. Nobody's allowed on it. I'm about to put one of those like caution tapes around the yard. Like, you're not allowed to touch it. I joined all the, so like I'm already a part of all like the aquarium groups on Facebook, but I joined a yard care. I joined a couple of yard care groups and a couple of gardening groups to like really see what people are doing and be like, oh man, I'm actually gonna post my little picture of the little seedlings crack and be like, success, finally got it. Grass wants high nitrogen. That they do, and iron. Iron promotes really green growth. So I know it's kind of like you think iron and you think aquarium plants they get red, but actually iron really helps green the grass up. So I actually put down Milorganite, which is a not sponsored, but I may branch into doing a lawn care YouTube channel as well, because I'm actually finding a lot of enjoyment out of it. And yeah, so putting down Milorganite, it's all natural fertilizer. Aquariums. So yeah, aquarium soil likes clay, low organics. Are all of your tanks purling? No, this tank's not really doing much. This tank, it's all bubbly here because there's a lot of CO2 being dissolved, and there's not a whole lot of plant matter in here to absorb it right now, so yeah. I hate lawns. I actually like my lawn. That's a good thing. See, I like my lawn because it's not too big. I could literally mow it in about a half an hour, the whole thing. It'd be good, you know, and I guess because I like the plants, I like growing the grass. Like, I want to see the grass grow, and I have like tons of ideas. I'm gonna make a really nice doggy area on the side, because we have on this side of the house behind me. It's pretty much like the 6 foot wide by maybe 15-foot run, where it's fenced in. There's no fence on the inside of the yard, but I can't really put anything there. Like, I can't put any kind of There's nothing can go there. So I'm going to make that into a doggy area for them to go potty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down a stone walkway, like a nice smooth stone walkway all the way almost to the back. Around that is going to be pea gravel, and that way they could go potty on the pea gravel and it'll get soaked down and into the ground below. That way there's really no cleanup other than, you know, any kind of number 2s that they do. And then all around in a U shape, I'm going to do a whole planting box, like a raised planting box that comes up maybe about a foot or so. And in that is going to be a bunch of plants, and I'm actually going to try and plant plants that dogs eat that are good for them. So I read a couple plants, I forgot the names of them, but they're good for like digestion and stuff like that. So Honey likes to eat grass and stuff, I realized. So I want to put stuff that she can eat and it actually like is good for them instead of her munching on the grass, which I have no idea, you know, what's in there. So but that's my next project. First I have to build a gate to keep them in there, which probably not going to be this weekend, but maybe one of the following weekends. I want to definitely get it done before like summer hits. But I want to put in a gated area for them, so that way I could just let them loose there. They could go potty, they could run back and forth because it's like 15 feet long, maybe 20 feet long. It's pretty. It's a nice open space, so they'll have plenty of space to run in it. And they can run there. I don't have to worry about them messing up my grass. Stay up the hell off my grass, and yeah, be good. So. I wasn't able to get my grass to grow. I should try keeping my nitrates high next time. Yeah, well, put down Milorganite is a good. I've been following Lawn Care Nut on YouTube. He has almost like 100,000 subscribers, a whole channel devoted to lawn stuff, and I literally watch, because I do nothing about it, so I literally watch like every video of his, like learning everything, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go do it and build an awesome lawn. So that's what I'm doing. Aqua Design Alliance. Joseph, are you part of it? Yes, I am. What's up, Fish Topic? How's it going? I want to remove my lawn and get the good fake grass. No, see, I won't do it. I won't. See, I like a challenge, okay? I want to be challenged, right? I want the challenge of growing a nice, thick lawn. Like, I want to have the nicest lawn on the block. And I will tell you what, I've been out there at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. doing yard work out front. And I swear the neighbors are driving by mad slow and they're looking at me, and let's just put it this way, I'm the only white person on this block. Everybody else is black and Spanish, which no problem there, but they look at me and they're probably like, what the hell is wrong with white people? Why are they out there at 10 p.m. doing yard work? Like, literally the next thing they're going to see is me out there with a little thing of scissors, right? They're going to see me out there with scissors going like this, trimming the lawn by hand, and they're going to be like, what the hell is wrong with this person? Guaranteed, without a doubt. They're probably all like, what is wrong with people in here? Guys, I'm going to be memorizing some vocab words. I'll still be listening, just maybe not cheating as much. I feel the same way about grass. Way too many ticks this year. 30 minutes is 30 minutes too long working on a lawn. I'm fine with it. Oh, and on top of that, it's like, I like the challenge. I was like, people are like, oh, why don't you put down sod? I'm like, sod's the easy way out. Why am I going to do sod? I want a challenge. I love my vegetable garden and fruit trees. I'm actually going to try an interesting thing in our front yard. So we have one side of the house that gets northern eastern sun in the morning, but then the sun goes over and behind the house. So the left-hand side of our house gets really no sunlight. It's full shade. I'm actually going to attempt to grow lettuce and other types of leafy greens and some mint in no sun. It's all shade, so I'm going to attempt to grow it there. I think I could get it to grow. Because right now I have it inside in a window that gets no sun growing, so it's going good. I also got a dwarf peach tree, which is nice too. Dog eating grass equals puke. That's if they eat the wrong kind of grass. See, there's an actual type of grass they can grow. You'll be bored with grass in a year. Bye-bye, guys. Gotta go eat dinner later. Damn white boy in their grass. It's funny, though, because after I started doing all my lawn maintenance, the next week, everybody had their like, I was the first one to mow my lawn this year. Everybody else was mowing their lawn the following week. They're like, this person's gonna put us to shame. He just moved in and he's already like doing yard work. I'm like, yeah, and they're hiring people too to do their lawn. I'm doing my own. I went out and spent all the money on the equipment. I'm like, I'm crazy. I'll do it myself. I want to see what some Snap or Instagram people are saying, because there's a ton of people saying stuff here, but I can't read it because it's going too fast. Let's see here. Jesus, okay, you guys typed a whole lot. I'm a shrimp, I don't have to move the lawn. Hey Justin, what's up James's fish tank? How's the 55 looking? Like a mess. My Sag and Wisteria I just got are dying. Could I have done something wrong? Lifes, did you get them from me? I bet the 55 could use some shrimp. They don't like using Easy Green from aquarium. Found out. Yeah. Life's a beat. What's Where'd you get them from? Did you get them from me? What's your lighting and substrate? More focused on YouTube. Damn, sorry. I'm trying to get to everybody. It's just like mad people are typing on YouTube. They probably think you're on speed. They do. I just put in 2 flower beds in my yard. Nice. A lot of work. Worth it. Yep. DIY, bro. That's right. What's a good tall background plant? Jungle Bell. Jungle Bell or giant hairgrass. Both really good tall background plants. I can see Justin being the first to have a lawn made of dwarf hair or dwarf baby grass and or dwarf baby tears and hair grass. That's right. Should honestly just make it out of dwarf hair grass. He'll never run out of it. That's true. Ever thought about setting up a planted aquascape tank to show people different ways to arrange plants that you sell? So what I'm going to be doing is once I get the 12 other 40-gallon breeders set up and working, and I have like the space to do it. Then I'm going to have a couple show tanks, a couple small cube tanks and whatnot, and I'm actually going to be aquascaping those and showing people stuff. How's the pallet fence idea coming? So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for the fence, because I actually fixed a part of the fence, but there's still 2 areas of the stockade fence that has to be fixed. But we want to tear it all down and put in a new fence. But the weird part about where we live in Jersey is the finished side of the fence has to face the neighbors. So if I put up like a wooden fence, they get the nice side, and I get the side with the posts, and it just doesn't look right. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So we're thinking about doing PVC fence, where both sides are essentially the finished side, so we both get the nice side. But that's going to cost a lot of money. I think somebody quoted me like $7,100 to do. It's a lot of money, and I don't want to pay that much right now, nor do I have that amount, especially if we're putting in the HVAC system. So I'm hoping that we get that figured out. I don't know if we're going to do like a pallet fence or whatever, so. You could do aquascape diagrams for various tank sizes, like landscapers, and sell the diagrams and plant packages as a set. That's not a bad idea. Set up a GoFundMe for all your plans. No. See, that's one thing. Unless I desperately needed it, which I don't. Like, I have people trying to give me money to expand my business. Like, I've had several people offer me a substantial amount of money to say, hey, you're doing really good. I want a piece of the action. I'll give you some money if you give me a kickback of it. I'm like, that's all fine and dandy, but then I have to give you some money, and I don't want to give anybody money. I'm greedy. This is my baby. And one second, my phone keeps popping up, and I'm out of storage. Whatever. But I'm greedy. This is my baby. I want to be able to say that I did all this. There may come a point where, say in a year or two, I might need a warehouse, and maybe I don't have, $150,000 that I'll need to do that. And then at that point, I may look for private investors, but it wouldn't be a crowdfunding thing. It'd be more like a silent partner if they wanted to give me $100,000 and continue the business. Tells a lot about a person on how they take care of their lawn. Well, too, like, I care about the house. Like, everything I'm trying to fix. Every single moment I get that I'm not spending on the business, I'm fixing something in the house. Like, it's my house. This is my first house. I wanna make it look nice. I wanna take care of it. it just so happens that I'm really into plants, you know? So, you know, I grow all of these plants, but it would also be cool to have a nice, luscious lawn. It'd be nice to have a nice vegetable garden, which we want to do. We're actually, Margaret wants to put like a deck out back and a bunch of things. And so what I'm trying to do is around her design is develop gardens that can fit in her design. So like, she wants to put a deck out of pallet fences against where our shed is, or out of pallet. She wants to build a deck, and then put that up against where our shed is, all the way to the fence. So I'm thinking, okay, well, great. So that's going to be a raised deck. I could put a raised flower bed that comes all the way up to the railing of something, or I could grow grapes that grow along the trellis of the railing. And then against the shed, I could build something to grow more plants. And then on the back, I could grow more plants. And on the side, I could grow more plants. But it's basically like whatever she wants to do, I'm trying to incorporate greens into it. And she loves it because we have a bunch of plants upstairs. But I want to also get, like, I want to be able to grow my own vegetables and stuff like that. I'm into all that, so. I dislike lawns and people that are so house proud. Listen, I take pride in my house, alright? It may be a shit show right now, but one day it might be alright. Or halfway decent. Honey is being good tonight. Did you drug her before the stream? No, she's just laying there. She has... I've seen a significant improvement in her behavior overall. Like, when I would put her in the crate and we would leave, wildly whining. She's actually kind of gotten used to it. Like to the point where the neighbors actually commented the other day. She's like, you know, we heard a lot of crying coming from the house the other day. I'm like, oh, that's the new dog. She's not used to the crate yet. You know, all that. She's adjusted. She's like, oh, okay. You know. But she's gotten a lot better. She has gotten with the program. She's still not allowed out of my sight. But the other day when we were doing a lot of yard work, I actually left her in the pen that we have inside with the children, and she didn't go to the bathroom at all in the house. So that was like a significant achievement there. But like, she's had minor accidents here and there in the house. I'm still not ready to like give her any kind of leeway yet. I want to go a month without seeing any accidents whatsoever. When we're at that point, then I'll start letting her, you know, when I'm down here, I'll block it off so she can't go upstairs, but I'll keep her down here and we'll see if she has any incidences downstairs. What's going on, Anita? James says, oh, you crate your dogs? Well, I don't crate Walter. Walter is fine. Walter knows not to destroy anything, but Honey's still new. Eventually, she'll get out of that phase, I'm sure, like Walter. Walter, you know, did similar things when he was a puppy. She's a bit older, so she should pick up relatively quickly, which I think she is. She's gone with the program even to the point where, you know, when we go to sleep, we have one of the pens also upstairs. You know, her bed's in there with the toys, and she knows as soon as we go upstairs, it's bedtime. She goes in the pen now, no problem. You know, before it was like, come on, let's go. You know, kind of like pushing her in there, giving her a treat to get in there and stuff. So she's gone with the program. She's learning. It's just, I don't want, every time she has an accident indoors, that's just a step backwards, and I don't want to allow her to have that accident. So that's why, like, before I ran her outside, because I don't want her to even get it in her mind that it's at all remotely okay. It's like, okay, you want to go out? Let's go. And then she's also, in the morning, she wakes me up. Like, I can't ever sleep past 7:30, 8 o'clock, because she's, like, standing on her cage, like, I need to go out, take me out, kind of thing. So she's getting with it. She's going good. Let's see. With the new house, have you considered branching out into ponds and the various plants that go with them? I'd like to do a pond. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room to do a pond. I'd like to, but we'll see. It's a decent sized backyard. I just don't know if I have enough room to really do one. Or if I have the time to really do one. So we'll see. It's going to probably be something that if I do it, it's probably going to be like 2 or 3 years from now. Unless I decide that it may be a better idea to set up a big greenhouse out back and grow plants rather than buying a warehouse. But I think by the time I have this whole basement filled in, it's going to be one of those, it's like, okay, well, even if I expand into a greenhouse, what's that going to add? 10 more tanks? Like, and then what? I need to buy a warehouse in 2 or 3 years. So like, let me just go straight to the warehouse probably. Can Kamama grow without ferts? I'm almost out and don't have time to get them yet. Yeah, it'll be fine for a week or two. You want neighbors with nice yards and gardens. You get to enjoy it with zero work. Well, yeah, that too. Well, see, my idea is like, I want to grow veggies, but I want to grow enough, like, to the point where I could, like, give some to the neighbors, because, like, I'm going to have extra, I'm sure. Like, I'm growing, I got beets to try and grow beets. I don't eat beets, but I figured if they grow in the shady areas, which I've read, supposedly they will grow okay in the shady areas, and then I could give them to the neighbors. Here, you want free beets? Take them. I just want to grow stuff. I think, you know, I got to green them. That's my thing. You should have bought that guy's 220 instead of the 90 scrub decision. I don't have space for a 220 anywhere down here, Jake. It's not in the plans. Even the 90 gallon is bigger than what I want, but I figured for the $100 to get the 90 gallon with the stand, way better than going out and buying a 75 gallon with the stand for much more, and I'll just make it work somewhere. I'll figure it out. You want neighbors that care about their property. My neighbors rent out their house. The renters don't care. There's garbage all over the yard. Lawn overgrown. Yeah, see, like, that's the thing. Like, I think if anything, people should be like, oh, wow, this guy actually cares about the house and what it looks like, you know, because this house was vacant for, like, I think 6-7 years. Nobody lived here, so it was just an eyesore and not well maintained or anything like that. And, you know, we planted beautiful flowers out front. You know, we planted a lot of flowers that are going to have beautiful blooms in spring and summer and fall. And there's even more to come. We want to do even more flowers in the back, more, you know, gardens in the back, and it'd be cool. Ridiculous Fish says, not meaning you, dude, but those people that their house is more important than life and death. I wouldn't take it that far. I like I said, I find enjoyment out of growing plants and growing grass and stuff like that is nice. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, but it is properties. It is the property, so. Let's see. Shady areas are great for salad greens. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna try. I got some arugulas, some spinach, some lettuce, some mixed lettuces. I'm gonna try that. I read that mint, thyme, and chives also grow in shady areas, so I'm gonna try those. And I heard beets, broccoli, and there's a couple other ones also growing that. So I went to the nursery and I got a couple small little baby plants that probably this weekend I'll get out there and put. Problem is, I have a chipmunk or woodchuck or groundhog, whatever the hell you want to call it, somewhere in the back of like the house. There's some woods, and supposedly that eats anything it can get into. So I'm worried that if I plant it and I don't cover it with something, they're gonna eat it. But we'll see. I just want to know that it can grow there. If it can grow there, then I can move into my next phase, which is designing something that has like a fenced-in area where something can't get in there to eat, but I have to really see what goes on. Should have forced Margaret to let the 220 be the show tank upstairs. I have zero time to even think about the 220. I have to wait until you come work for me, Jake, which is coming up here soon. Actually, I talked to my accountant. I figured out how I'm going to be able to pay either you and or other employees, and so now it's just a matter of getting the tanks and having work for you to do. Right now I don't have work for you to do, but once I do, then maybe I can figure out a show tank for upstairs. Can you even get a 220 into the house? I could get a 220 through the front door. I don't think I could get a 220 down here in the basement. Possums? Might be possums. I don't know what the hell they are. Whatever they are, I filled in a hole that was on the fence line that Walter started digging up. I filled in a hole, and sure enough, something uncovered the hole. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I looked at Walter. I'm like, there's no way he could have dug it because he was tied up on the other side, so. You gonna grow marijuana? No. Be careful with mint. I planted some and it took over my yard. The only way to get rid of it is flamethrower, basically. Well, see, that's the thing. So the way I'm going to plant mint is right now I'm going to put it in a pot and keep the pot, in the shady area, see if that grows. If it does, then I'm actually going to isolate it inside the planter's box, because the way I'm going to do it, if it works in the front yard, I'm going to build a raised bed that's going to be I'm going to probably outline it in brick so it blends in with the rest of the front yard so it doesn't look too obscene. And so it's going to be like 3 or 4 bricks high. It's going to be a raised bed. And then where the mint plant goes is actually going to be, I'm going to divide that section with some sort of contraption to keep it contained, like the roots and all. So I'll probably put like 2 pieces of wood that go all the way down to the soil, like base ground, so that way it can't spread out that way. And then I'll just keep it trimmed very well and make sure like it can't branch out anywhere. So yeah, I know mint's very invasive. Don't worry. I've grown it before. I want to see if it could grow in full shade. That's the problem. Is the area that I want to plant all these leafy vegetables is full shade, no sun whatsoever. So I need to see if it works. It gets like no sun. It's just ambient light. So we'll see. Let's see. I have a family of chipmunks on my property, and squirrels and birds do more damage. You know what the problem too? I realize it is freaking mad squirrels buried their nuts in my yard. They buried their nuts and they keep digging it up. Every day I go back there, I see little holes dug in the yard, and it's literally where they buried their nuts. And then I'm in the front yard the other morning, so I went around and I edged the whole yard, like with the edger and all that, the front yard, to make it look nice. And I wake up and I'm watching this little squirrel from upstairs. He's digging through the side where I edged it. He's like digging up his nuts. I'm like, this little bastard. And Margaret's like, he's probably like, this guy's doing yard work, burying all my nuts. I'm gonna move him now. I'm like, good, get him out of my yard. Yeah, pay me now. Don't worry, Jake. I'll have money I'll have work for you very, very soon. Have you gone to Fish yet? No, I haven't. Or Fish. I'm eating now, so getting in a better mood. I came in when it started, then left at 8:30, then came back at 9. Actually, speaking of which, I'm going to probably end this in about 10 minutes for everybody that's watching, so I want to thank you for hanging out. Don't forget the BUCE coupon code. I actually don't know if anybody ordered anything, but you save 25% off. It's BUCE25 at checkout. 25% off all BUCE. Yeah, so the way Jasmine says, mint spreads by stalks too. If you have any part of the stem touching soil, it will root and take over. I plan on being on top of it, making sure that that doesn't happen, and also keeping it so it contains inside of the area that I put it in. So I have raspberry. Those are very invasive too. I actually want to get raspberry plants and stuff. Fortunately, I have invasive chocolate mint. It smells like heaven. That's nice. Do a bog garden with a pitcher plants and fly traps. Yeah, squirrels are annoying. Are you going to overseed the entire lawn? I already overseeded it, so I dethatched it. I overseeded it, even though I shouldn't have. I should have probably waited till fall to overseed it, but I'm impatient, and I'm like, I want it to grow now, and I want to fill it in and all that, so I'm like, screw it, I'm going to throw down fertilizer, throw down overseed, and let's see what happens. So I bought a big bag of seed, like more than I needed, so that way I could seed again in the fall, because I'm going to aerate again in the fall. So, or I'm going to aerate in the fall period. I didn't aerate this time around. I should have, because the ground is very compacted, but I was impatient and threw down seed, and I'm like, I'm not going to aerate now that I just seeded And plus, I have the idiots that owned this house previously and or the people doing construction on the house. There is an electrical line that is not buried properly in the ground, so I'm afraid of running the motorized aerator through the lawn because I don't know where that line is, so I have to actually dig up the wire. I have to retrench it out and run a brand new wire to the shed because they didn't bury the electrical wire properly. But while I do that, I'm going to run an irrigation line for the irrigation systems that I want to install in the yard, as well as a water spout in the shed as well. I want to put a garden hose back by the shed as well as having one on the house, and run some lines for irrigation. So I've got to dig a big enough trench that I can run all three in. So I'm going to run electrical side by side, 2 water pipes. What are some good aquarium plants for a beginner? I have an LED light I got from Walmart. Well, Hubble, you could try, I would say Java Fern and Anubis are 2 of the really good basic plants. And see how those do. If those are going well for you, you could venture into other ones as well. Isn't Fish a wholesaler? I need to take you to the wholesalers over here. Yes. Take me to getting my plants tomorrow. Nice. What is that? Car? Anytime you want, Jake. Will Jungle Val and Crypts grow in hard water? I think so. How does this stream only have 10 likes? I don't know. How does the stream only have 10 likes? There's 35 of you watching. There should be at least 35 likes. If there's not 35 likes, then you guys just fail. The H2 army fails. How long does it take for Microsort to spread? It actually will grow rather quickly once established. The best thing is leave it planted, don't move it around. But when you first get it, break it up into small plugs and plug it all around where you want it to carpet, and it'll actually spread out faster. If you all just keep it in a clump and don't break it up, it won't spread nearly as fast. I would order from you, but can't because I live upstate down. What? I live in upside down land? Oh, Palisades Ave. It's a 20-minute drive for me. Not bad at all. I'm 5 minutes from there. Also meant imports on Route 17. I don't think I haven't been to either one of those. Actually, I might have been to Fish. I'm trying to think. It sounds familiar. Are you streaming on another website too? Yeah, so I'm streaming on Facebook and YouTube. You can check it out. Just Facebook, YouTube /H2O Plants. You can find me there. The stream is also archived on both Facebook and YouTube, so you can check them out after the fact if you are just joining us and want to see. We're also doing a 25% off BUCE coupon. BUCE 25 is the coupon code. I only like Japanese music videos. Merit Imports is 5 minutes from my college. I want to know who named a store Fish. It's kind of a silly name, but it's cool. Alright, let's see. 5 more minutes. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? 5 more minutes, and we're going to be heading off for the night. No problem, Humble. It's next to a shop, right? Actually, I realized a couple weeks ago that I was literally right by Shark Aquarium. I live 2 minutes away from Shark Aquarium, but they closed down. So I was like, that's such a bummer. I moved 2 minutes away from a huge fish store, and they shut down. So, Justin, say Auden. Auden? There you go, Auden. Yeah, I was mad to find out that when they moved. I didn't dose Algifix. Let me dose Algifix. What's this say? For how many days should I use this? Repeat dose every 3 days until algae is gone. Unfortunately, I've dosed this every single day, and I'm overdosing it. Probably bad, but whatever. Been meaning to ask you, Joseph, what should I do with a Madagascar lace that has gone back into hibernation? Just leave it alone, I think. Actually, I think I read somewhere they like to be taken out of water and kept moist. I think. There is something that you should do, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's taken out of the water and keep it moist, but double check, do some research on that, because I remember seeing something about that, but I personally haven't done it. I just leave them be, and that's probably why I've killed mine, but... He said it right this time. You pronounced it right, did I? It's gone. George Fear retired. He is the best. I watched him take an eye out of the piranha and put it back in. What? So wait, the guy that owned... So you knew the guy that owned Shark Aquarium? He closed down? Can I get his gear? Do you know how to get in contact with him? Does he have anything left? Because I'll take it all. George Fear was the real deal parasite behind the eye. Oh. When I saw that they went out of business, I'm like, one, that's a perfect warehouse space for me. And two, I want their equipment, because if they had all those tanks, if they're still in the warehouse, if he owns the property, I want to buy it. And or talk to him about maybe letting me run it. I don't know. I don't know if he owns the space or what. He's been gone for 2 years. How is he bought it? I literally went to that... Well, maybe it was 2 years ago. I went to that store... Maybe it was 2 years ago. I went to that store relatively recently. Not that... I don't know. I can get you 120-gallon drilled tanks cheap. Oh, yeah? What's your favorite Java fern species? I personally like the lace one and the trident one, both of which died on me pretty much, or just failed to grow, so I stopped worrying about them until I get a tank that's going to be devoted to growing them out, because they obviously do not like my CO2 areas. I can get it was a sad, sad day. That is a sad, sad day. So, G-Bear, do you know if he owns that property? Because if he doesn't own it, one, I want to find out who does own that property, because it's literally where his warehouse is. I live in Hillside, right? And there's Route 22. I live a block off of Route 22. You take Route 22 and you go up literally 2 blocks, and there was his warehouse for Shark Aquarium. And I could work 5 minutes away if I wanted to expand my business into that lot. The only thing with that is, one, this area of Route 22 isn't the most popular. It's not until you go further down. But it is a big warehouse space, so as long as I continue to do online sales, I think it would be fine. But it's not in the best location as far as driving traffic, I think. It's been closed for a while. When I was by my girlfriend in Union, I was looking at fish stores around the area and saw that one and thought it was cool, and saw online it was closed. Yeah, I went there once. I bought some dwarf aquarium lilies, actually the one that I had in my 55 for the longest time. Because me and Margaret went in there and they had just rows of tanks set up of fish, like rows for days. And then they had some bigger fish, and I was like, wow, this is a cool spot. I can find out. I don't think so, because he was 5 miles 10 years before that. I'll find out. One time when I was a kid, we drove 3 hours to go apple picking and found out the place was closed when we got there. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, find out for me, G-Bear. Let me know if he knows or who owns it, because, I mean, maybe there's still equipment left in there. Who knows? If there's still equipment left in there, maybe I can rent out the place and reopen it. Because I do need a facility, and I almost... If the opportunity presented itself where I had an available spot, it's close enough to where I live, and it already has equipment, it may be worth it to me to not even bother putting in the 40 gallons here and just operate everything out of the warehouse at that point. Alright guys, but I'm going to be closing up at the moment. How's it going? What's going on, Joseph? It's going well. I'm shutting down the stream though today. Route 22 had a bunch of good stores. They still do. It's just Shark Aquarium's not one of them. I'll find out tomorrow. Alright, let me know. The dumb thing is they were open the next day but closed because they couldn't handle the crowds. Damn. Route 22 has to be prime real estate though. It is. It really is. There's other warehouses around the hillside area. They aren't in the nicest of areas, but they are warehouses for rent. I haven't inquired about them, but they are 5 minutes from my house, so it would be great to be able to just go rent one and set up shop there. But Route 22 is a nice flow of traffic, so if I wanted to do store sales and do online sales, I would have enough space in that warehouse that they had to do everything out of. So H2O will Stargowning weapons do well under a Fluval 2.0 in a 65-gallon tank that's 22 inches high, running eco-complete. I want to say yes, because it did well in my 55 with a BML fixture, and 65 is the same height. And Fluval 2.0 is almost similar to the BML. BML is slightly more powerful, but mine were still growing, so let's say you'd probably be alright. In Australia, we have a bunch of bat stores. There's bat stores here. I've walked into plenty of fish stores that I walked in and I knew instantly I was not going to buy anything, but I'll still look around. And then there's other fish stores that I walk in and I'm like, I want to spend my money on everything. Absolutely Fish is the one that comes to mind. Locally, they have the nicest fish store I've ever seen. I actually want to do a store tour there one day. I'm going to actually message them and see if they would mind me coming and filming. But up the road was another wholesaler. They're gone also. See, my thing is, are they gone because they never went online? Or are they gone just because bad business practices? Because I feel in this day and age, if you don't have an online department, you're not going to succeed in, especially in this hobby, much less anywhere else. If you don't sell online, you're missing out on tons of money. I don't know. Personally, I don't feel bad for people that go out of business that don't keep up. We have the Holy Grail, Absolutely Fish. Yeah, Absolutely Fish is the best. Who's Patrick, the owner? I've never really honestly talked to anybody there other than like the sales associates. But I would love to like do a fish store tour and like actually interview them. But I know that they do. He died. Oh no, he died. That sucks. Yeah, but Absolutely Fish has to be the nicest set up fish store because when there's a sick tank, they don't sell fish out of it. They actually put a big sign on it like saying fish are not for sale. And then two, the tanks are all nicely themed. Like they're actually set up. They're not just holding tanks with bare bottom and nothing there. Like they actually put in like cool, like they have like dinosaur tanks set up. It looks like, you know, cool landscapes. They're not all planted. They have tanks that have plants in them, but they have all these like nice themed tanks. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Then a younger guy took it over, and I think they killed him. Damn. People killing people over fish stores. Yes, Patrick owns Absolutely Fish. Long hair. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever met him. Can you show us your tank? Which tanks? Because they're all a mess right now. I was supposed to actually be cleaning them, but instead I'm talking to everybody. I know everyone in the tri-state area. Oh, no! Instagram went down. My phone just died. So sorry. Alright guys, well, I actually wanted to talk to Absolutely Fish about selling online, possibly. I know they have the aquaculture facility. And if they have this space, I wanted to possibly talk to them about collabing in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I'm gonna end this now though because Instagram died. Instagram. People are gonna hate me now. But I will see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget. Wait, today is Wednesday. I will see you Sunday. You worked at all of them in the 80s? Damn. So yeah, so I will see you all Sunday. Whatchamacallit. Don't forget, 25% off BUCE. Go place your order. BUCE25 is the code. It's available until Sunday. I will keep it active. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. And I will see you soon with 13 additional tanks. Not all in this room, but they will eventually be set up. So let me end Facebook. And I will see you guys later.